Okay, hello all you crazy people out there. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games, and welcome back to making tower defense games in Game Maker Studio 2 in 3D. So, last week was tower upgrades, as well as a bunch of nice quality of life effects, such as, that's too expensive for me right now, some nice quality of life effects, such as some stats being shown on the user interface. So the cost of upgrades, the cost of buying towers, how much money you get from selling the tower, and that sort of thing. And this week, I am going to do a little bit more with tower upgrades. Last week was more basic stuff, like numbers going up. This week, I want to do some more, maybe involved things with regards to tower upgrades. I'm still okay with just having numbers go up, but I do want to give some of these other towers more interesting abilities when, let's see, when they're upgraded. So, I'll start with the magnifying glass, because the magnifying glass should be fairly easy. For its first upgrade, I'm just going to have it do increased damage per second. I might make it a percentage rather than a fixed number, so I might make it like 5% per second or something like that. That'll mean it takes 20 seconds to kill something. I might make it more like 25% per second or something like that for your damage. And that will make it much more reliable at higher levels when things have more HP. And I also want to, at maybe level 3, have the ability to have the magnifying glass set things that walk under it on fire, is what I had planned, because you understand the implication. You fry a bug under a magnifying glass and that sort of thing. So you are having a little bit of trouble keeping up here, which is another reason why a fixed percentage damage, I'm gonna get creamed, is probably better than a fixed value of damage, a fixed number of damage points. So we'll start with that. Where is magnifying glass? Is that a... That should be its own special tower type, because it works differently than just shooting a bullet at something. The actual damage. I will say this is only going to work if you're level 1. If you're at level 2, let's make it like 50% per second or something. No, 50 sounds like a lot. 25% sounds like a little. A third, I'll try a third. That'll mean that it probably can't take out an entire swarm of things like the aphids that come through in swarms, but it will be able to... Actually, that might be too good for bosses, because I don't want bosses to not go down that easily. I'll leave it at a fixed amount of damage. Okay. Scrap that idea. Rate, range. I can't make the range too good, because it'll start to look funny visually if the beam is focused on something that's far away from it, but maybe we can increase it a little bit. We can make it 3 instead of 2.5. Starting at level 2, and the damage can go up from 5 to, like, I'll make it 8. And the first upgrade can be... That nearly doubles the amount of damage that I'm able to do, and it does increase the range slightly too, so that's on the good side. I'm gonna make this 100 cost. And I'll run the game now. I'll have to do a little bit of work to actually get 100 gold, but we'll try. The magnifying glass is 40. It can go here. I can send in like 4 waves, and that will give me 100. And it's actually not shredding through them as fast as I thought it would. Like, obviously the aphids are taking a lot of damage really fast, but it's the ants actually made it through there, which I was not quite expecting. They actually made it through really well. Can I build another one? I'm gonna build another one there just for now. Okay, on the second pass through, it's doing pretty well against them because they're at half health to begin with, but... Okay, actually, that's fine. I have enough money. I should be, if I was trying to win, I would be building other towers right now too. But it's holding out. Alright. And yes, the gnats. This tower is just death for the gnats because they have the shield. And this thing basically nullifies the shield. because the one hit is like instant.
Hey.
Boy, mats are really meaningless, aren't they? The situation hasn't changed now from like from what it was like 30 seconds ago. Alright, so I might want to increase the price of this even more, actually. The ability to, the ability to render entire waves useless is not something to be taken lightly. Not doing super well against the bosses, though, so that's its Achilles heel. Just a little bit of precursory balance. Let's, I'd almost rather make things more expensive than make the numbers lower, because later in the game you do start to get money. You do start to get money pretty quickly because it's tied to how strong the foes are, and generally there will also be more foes in the stronger waves. And I feel like after a certain point, there's a tipping point where you just have a lot of money, and the limiting factor is kind of how fast you can build stuff. So I'm okay with having later upgrades, especially costing more. And again, that goes back to what I said last video about time being a resource that the player has. Anyway, the interesting thing that I wanted to do here is and I keep closing the tower entity code file. When you hit something, where is it? Damage here. Target foe.burn. And this isn't going to be any long duration of burn. This is just going to be the default burn duration, as specified by the lack of parameter. But no, wait, I didn't give it a cost yet. That's probably also going to be really good. Let's make that 150. And to, so that the player can see what each upgrade does and isn't just clicking on the upgrade button blindly, I would like to add some either mouse over text or something else that just shows a little summary of both what the towers do as you build them and also what the actual upgrades are. I need money badly. Okay, that was probably a mistake. Oh god, this is a mistake. Help. Alright, this is not an early game tower. It's holding out though, it's actually. Okay, it's actually... It survived the early barrage of sending in 5 waves at once. I'm going to upgrade you for 150. You're going to set things on fire. That's not really going to be something that we can see. But the bosses should be able to see being set on fire. Okay, these two just soloed the entire game. It's better balanced than it was when I was first doing the towers before I did that one balanced video, but it's still upgrading especially is unbalanced again. I'm gonna hike up the price of both of these because I do not want that to be a thing that can happen. At least not easily. Patience being a virtue and all that. Alright, I'm gonna test that later. If you let me, I would spend this entire video just tweaking the numbers on this magnifying glass, but I don't want to do that. It burns. We can make a commit that says magnifying glass upgrades. Alright, next, bird nests. I had some ideas for the bird nest. One is to spread out a 4th bird on some upgrade. I think that would be like level 3. I think level 2 would just be having the birds move faster and possibly doing more damage. That is thunder. Can you all hear that? And the weirdest part about that is that the sky is blue outside, but like half the sky is storm clouds and half of it is sunshine, and wow, okay. I haven't looked outside in a half hour. That's different than it was a half hour ago. Okay. Birds, damage. Second rank upgrade. Damage. let's hike it up by 50%, go to 12. I'll adjust the price accordingly. Range and fire rate really is not very meaningful because the fire rate for the bird tower is just how quickly it spits out a new bird when the game starts. And the range is just like if the range was something else, the birds would look weird, just orbiting really far away or really close to the nest, and I don't think I want that. So it's really damage and number of birds and how fast the birds move. Tower glass, tower spread, tower bird. The second tier I said was just going to be damage, and third is going to be... One, I want the birds to fly a little bit faster so that they have a reduced chance of occasionally missing an enemy as it walks past. I think I'm also going to make that 150, and I also, again, a fourth bird is nothing to sneeze at, so maybe 180. I don't want these numbers to be too huge. I don't want any of the numbers in the game to be too huge. Like, if you're dealing in like 10,000 money, or if the amount of money you have is like 4 or 5 digits long, you could easily just cut off 2 zeros and the game would play the same. And I think that's unnecessary, like, complications for the player. But I guess I'll say update if self.level is greater than or equal to 3. And I keep saying greater than or equal to 3 because I have not ruled out the possibility of adding a 4th rank to all of these and allowing other things to happen when you're 4th rank. We can say bird limit just equals 4, and that'll spit out a 4th bird. Hatch bird. This automatically puts them on their own, like, orbital, right? Yeah, okay, so the distance is going to be 32 plus the number of birds on the field times 16. Alright, so I don't have to worry about spacing them out or anything. And... where are we? Bird nest in the middle. Oh, that's right. That's more money than I have right now. Is it? No, it's not. I should... Oh, it's 80, yeah. Alright, I can count. I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at 40. Anyway... I am not going to send in a bunch of waves at once because this is something... These birds are some things that do not excel in crowds. They excel in doing damage to... a lot of damage to enemies fairly slowly. With that said, once one wave finishes, I can send in another with really no consequence. And also there's the speed up button. These birds are really good at picking things off one at a time. To upgrade, I'm gonna need to wait a little while. Oh no, they're doing decently against the crowds. When they all swipe through them at once, that wasn't too bad. Of course, it doesn't help when the crowds are, like, overlapping each other like that. That might do me in. I should just assign myself, like, infinite health while I'm testing these. Alright, I did not give myself infinite money, but let's try this. I put out a flypaper dispenser in front of the bird nest, and that should slow things down and give me more opportunities to hit the crowd. Although it's still looking like things are getting through. Fast. Boy, okay. Maybe I'm actually thinking about nerfing this. Buffing it rather. Making it either better or reducing the cost, because this is not doing well against crowds at all. Okay. Yeah, I might do that. So, let's see. I didn't intend this to be balanced in this video, but I might end up doing that. Let's reduce the base cost from 80 to 60, and let's reduce the upgrade cost from 120 to like 90, and I'm guessing the third tier can be, like, a 4th bird is definitely is definitely pretty good to have, but since it also increases the area, it effectively increases the range as well, because you have a 4th orbital that you can cover. But the bird nest itself is actually not impressing me right now the way I hoped it would. Again, it's decent against bosses because it does a lot of damage at once, but speed up the game. Otherwise, it's kind of falling behind, and there wasn't... It felt like I might as well just use any other tower for the amount of money that it cost. This is something that I'll... Like, I can obviously only balance test the game... There we go. Thunder! Wow. Seriously, the window over here on my right is sunny. The window on my left is not. This is the weirdest thing. The more people I have test this, probably the easier this will... Died again. The easier this will be because I can only test things so fast, and I, in my head, have some preconceived strategies that I'm probably going to gravitate towards. And the more people I have on this, the more bases I'll be able to cover with what needs nerfing, what needs buffing, and that kind of stuff. I still have not achieved my goal of actually being able to build, like, to upgrade the level 3 bird nest, though, because I just keep dying. Okay, that should make them do better against crowds, at least. Because it'll allow them to cool down faster. It'll allow the birds to cool down faster. At least when you upgrade them. Upgrade, and yeah, now we're definitely thinning out this crowd of aphids faster than we were before. Curious to see how well a fourth bird is gonna work out. The ants, they're fine against those. The grasshoppers, wow, 12 damage, right? They're fine against those. Let's send in the next wave. These things. I'm pretty sure these things have damage shields. I feel like I should put some sort of visual indication on their status. Now we have 4 birds. Yay, chaos. Some things are still getting through, but it's alright. That's actually not bad. If I was building more than the bird nest, then I probably would have been okay. Alright, I will leave that at that. And commit the bird nest tower upgrades, and flypaper is the last one, which I have yet to touch. I've written down greater speed reduction for the glue, probably in terms of both duration and like the slowing amount. And I think I will do that. I did something similar to fire. And I thought about doing something similar to poison, but let's say when it comes to flypaper, if self.parent tower.level is greater than or equal to, we'll make this one 2 because this is going to be the level 2 upgrade, else target.slow. This, likewise, where's slow, can take a parameter like this. And it's also going to take a slowing factor. Oh, the macros are sort of the default values here in this case. And this is reductive, right? So it would be like 0.5, and cutting that in half further would make them slow down more. That's what it looks like. Okay. If your tower is greater than or equal to 2, we can give you a duration of, let's say 1.5, and a slow factor times... We'll reduce it by like another 25% or so, I guess. Otherwise, we'll just do the defaults. And that will be level 2. I still need to implement a cost. At the risk of making it too expensive again. Again, this is a tower that's hard to measure because it doesn't do damage to anything itself, but it does increase the amount of damage that other towers can do, and other towers can make more or less use of something being slowed down. Flypaper dispenser can go there. I will send you in early. Bullet data.parent tower not set before reading it. This is the same problem that we had before. And that's probably because I am not giving... I am giving... Oh, right. Because there are other... different tower types sort of clone the parent variable, which is probably not super useful to me. Like this here is called Nest, but it really acts as the parent tower, and there's really no reason for it to be called anything different. I mean, it's evocative of birds, which is nice, but it doesn't make my job making the game any easier. Bug spray cloud. Even the bullet types that don't really directly make use of this can have the parent tower. Actually, you know what? That can be passed to the constructor. I don't need to assign that twice. Like that. And then anywhere where this is used, self is just the parent tower value. That's already accounted for. That's already accounted for. And okay. All the bullets should now have a parent tower data so that they know where they came from and what their levels and all that is. All right, flypaper dispenser and a pebble shooter for support. Don't know why I sent both waves in, and we are still not doing it. It still thinks it's the bullet data. Okay, so that's probably similar. Okay, so when the on-hit is delivered... Is the on-hit ever delivered? Yeah, the on-hit is delivered. It's still being invoked by the bullet data, which doesn't have such values. Okay, does the poison do something similar? Do birds do something similar? The birds do something similar. Bug spray does something similar. And I think that's it for the special bullet types. Yeah. This is going to be a refactoring commit, I can tell. All right, for what, the third time? Let's try this. All right, now you're being slowed. Good. All right, game works the same as it did before. Okay, not a great support tower. Probably should have built like fire or something so that I could set everything on fire. And things are leaking through. Ooh. Okay, so at the very least, this isn't a great early game tower. I don't think. Because it does cost a lot of money to build, which is money that you can't use to actually take foes down. Flypaper. Can I pair you with a magnifying glass? Would that help? That would probably help, right? Because it definitely, there's more time in which... Are you being burned automatically? You're being burned even though this thing is only level 1. That's an error. Let's build another one just for fun. I need to wait until I have 100. That wasn't bad in the end. Alright, 120. If I sell this thing so that it's not getting in the way of killing things, I should now be able to see how long exactly the slowing duration lasts. And the same for you. And yeah, it's lasting longer. It's definitely lasting longer, which is probably a good thing. I am gonna lose because I have 0 money to do anything with, and yeah. Okay. I feel like that should be okay if I wasn't trying to rush through to test it. Adding a sandbox mode of sorts to make testing things easier for myself and for people to play with. Maybe a decent idea for later. Alright, that was level 2. I didn't do anything for level 3. Level 3 can be... I thought about, like, temporary mobilization. I might do temporary mobilization. Instead of, like, extending the slow feature, the slow status here, I might, like, self.status, immobilize, do something like that. By the way, because I know I'm gonna forget that, and that as well. Okay. So let's work on status immobilize. I can give that a duration, much like some of the other statuses. I can... No. I hit control open, I guess. Status immobilize is what I wanted, is going to equal duration. Instead of burn duration, it can be immobilized duration. This is probably going to be fairly short. Maybe 1 second instead of 2. Did I misspell that? I did not spell it at all. And Game Maker is complaining that there is a duplicate macro definition somewhere. There is the immobilized duration. And now, in the foes update, instead of we can skip like all of this. Why is... I don't know what the point of that local variable for the DT, the delta time macro is. We can skip all of that and say if not self.status immobilize, then you can update the position. Otherwise, immobilization is just like you're not going anywhere at a speed of exactly 0. Okay. And then... Nah, okay. I'll leave it as if not immobilized here, and then down here. We can update the countdown. Okay? Also, this has to be greater than 0. because it's going to be a floating point number, and it is not a true-false. Okay, so immobilization. Good. In the flypaper on hit, if self.parent tower level is greater than or equal to 3, target immobilize, and that should be it. And that's probably also pretty good. Let's also give that a cost of 100. Again, this is probably not a great early game tower. I'm going to actually play the game a little bit for the first 3 rounds so that I can maybe hopefully pick up a little money. And maybe actually get to something late game without everything crashing and burning. We'll see. Heh, they're just all piling up at the beginning and they're all immobilized. I don't know when I did that. Why are they doing that? Oh, it should be equals equals. Not greater than 0. Ha! Okay. Let's see. So we've got $100, 100 unitless currencies. And this side, in this half, I'm using the dollar sign, and in this half, I'm not using the dollar sign. Should probably think of some other symbol that I could use to indicate currency. Wow. This thing has not even been upgraded. This magnifying glass is still level 1. I know it's at double speed and all, but still. Let's see, the immobilization is what I wanted to see. That is actually not going to be super useful with the magnifying glass, because if it can't reach them, it can't reach them, but it should slow down the line in general, and holy cow, okay. Alright, 1, immobilization should be more like a 1/5 of a second and not an entire second. And 2, it keeps getting reapplied here. And that kind of means that they're stuck indefinitely, which is not what I wanted. Okay, so that's... First we'll commit these changes. Upgrades for fly, paper, tower. Second, I'm going to make it so that you can only be immobilized once. And each foe is only going to be immobilized the first time that they hit fly paper, and after that, it'll just be regular slowing. That's a simple matter. That's just going to be initialized to false in the immobilize function. If has been immobilized, return. If you have not already been immobilized, set the immobilization duration and indicate that you have been and that you can't be immobilized a second time. Okay. That's only a couple lines of code. That's a couple booleans checking to see if something has or has not already happened, which is fine. So interestingly, immobilization works, and it seems like it's doing what I think it is. But there are these 2 specific enemies which are just stuck, and I don't know why. Like, that's it. That's the game. That actually let me charge through it pretty well. But like, why were those 2 enemies just stuck? The timers were counting down, probably, right? Like, why wouldn't they be? Alright, so I was able to trap more of these things here just indefinitely in this flypaper, and it seems like immobilization does not expire. Why is that? Oh, it's equals equals, and the immobilization countdown timer thing is like -0.02 or whatever. That would do it. Alright. That's one crisis averted. many crises have been averted in this, these last two videos, either of my own making in said video or something that's been a problem for a little while that I just didn't notice. I said that a lot in the last two videos is what the point is. Okay. The last thing I wanted to look at was the magnifying glasses and why they were burning every time. Oh, because I didn't put a level check. If self.level is greater than or equal to 3, then you burn, otherwise you don't burn. I can't imagine any reasons this code wouldn't work now with that check in place, but let me just run this again to test to make sure. That's not a great place for a flypaper tower. Okay, testing that was a bit of an ordeal. I did give myself 100 health instead of 10. And it turns out that there is actually not that much money in the entire game right now, given the 8 waves that I have and how much money you get for each thing in each wave. And trying to get to the total 350 that I needed to fully upgrade the magnifying glass was a bit of an ordeal, but I was able to test it and awkwardly, and it does function. Again, balance is something for another day. I am going to end it off here. So, my name is... My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games. I hope you all found this interesting. If you want to see the code for this project, there will be a link in the GitHub repository in the video description. Check for the 0.36 release, or tag or whatever. I have a Patreon, so if you want to contribute towards these videos being made, there will be links to that in the video description. Also, I try to post about 2 of these a week, 1 of these and 1 tutorial. Otherwise, I hope you all found that interesting. And I will see you all later. Special thanks to Kiara Elizabeth, Connor, David Key, Edward Holt, Emily Koyo, Posho, Tusk, and Zenith for supporting these videos. If you want your name in the credits or to hear yourself shouted out at the end, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.